Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here with you with another HPS watch list. Probably going to break it into two videos. Getting started a little late on a Friday. And it is an amazing week. We just finished out an amazing week. Just want to, kind of start off by saying we have one setup. Actually, there's two that are active right now. One that hasn't hit its target. Remember, anything with the gold has hit its target, green hit its trigger, red hit its stop. I mean, for the last 3-4 weeks, we have been just really, I've been real disciplined on bringing you some of the great setups on these quality names. And it is Friday. Like I said, the market here currently down. Dow is down 96. It did push down pretty hard before. There's a lot of news out there. A lot of political news. There's a lot of tax news. The tax vote coming up possibly today on a Friday. That's been jerking the market around. And then, of course, the conviction of, I guess, our Flynn, one of the administration officials, pleading guilty, and they're going after him. So that's a little worrisome for the administration. So the market kind of reacted on that to the downside. We'll take a fast look at that, see if you could see that on the charts. Oh, let me get this back up here. So we go out here. You can see this big drop off. We actually dropped from 26.50 all the way down to 26.05. 45-point move down real fast. That was the news that came out. Since then, we've been climbing back up. And you got to expect this market to push back higher. I mean, if something comes of the allegations, or if they kind of shake this guy down and he starts spilling some beans on the administration, who knows what's going to happen with the market. But that has to happen before the market gets affected by it. If it doesn't happen, right back up to highs and continue to move higher. Remember, this is the beginning of December. Typically a very great, strong month. But I will put out that historically, the first couple weeks have been, not that great. It's really, Christmas and the second part of December really heat up with the markets. So we might actually see a little sideways consolidation, maybe even a little pullback in the next week. But I just don't even see that. But that's historical stats. Kind of point out that, especially with the Russell 2000, or the Russell small cap stocks, they tend to underperform early in the month, but then really come on strong and be the leaders at the end of the month, going into the Santa Claus rally. Remember the Santa Claus rally here, the week after Christmas, going into the new year. But the old December effect, the holiday season, and how this market has been reacting when we come to holidays, and just the overall great feeling that the market is giving you. I don't think they're going to bring that down any, especially into the holidays. So expect this market to continue to grind up right into Christmas, and we'll probably have this tax thing settled out, and we're probably going to be doing some other things. It just looks good. And it looks good until it doesn't. And just remember that. If we do have some news out there that affects the market, then we will adjust and trade for that event. But, take a look at the HPS. That's what this list is about. And we do some other videos. So actually, we've been concentrating on Bitcoin a lot. And I want to throw out a shout out to Paul. We got a great video out. We did a great course, a workshop the other night. And that information's on the forum, the members forum at Day Trading Radio. We go through the whole process, open up the accounts, finally open up mine. So it's kind of fun and exciting to see what's going on in that realm.
NQ Tradeometer overbought.
All right, so this is the market here kind of grinding back up. We did take a couple new positions today, but like I said, the HPS setup has been just on a real good streak. It was the AFLAC, the only thing that really stopped me out, and I took that off for a loss. The AFL, I went short a couple things. A couple things I'm actually still holding, but like I said, I don't think the shorts have a chance in this market unless you get lucky. All right, so let me bring up our first thing. The first thing we're going to do is actually going to review the setups, because we're probably not going to have as many setups as we did the last couple weeks, and we've been putting them up there. So I don't want to disappoint you with not bringing the best, but I refuse to bring anything less than the best. But that will be seen as we continue our research All right, our latest one just hit. The AWK was the best bet for last week, along with the Discovery and probably Liberty Media. All of them were great. All the ADM, like I said, they're all good. So let's just kick them off little by little to show you what the setup should be looking like and why we like them. Little education part of the process. Now, remember, everything here that you see on these charts are automatically put into the HPS system. So if a trigger gets hit, you get that instant alert on your phone and on your email, and you can actually set these trades up. We have a lot of people that put in limit orders. When they get the watch list, what they do is they put the orders in. They put a limit order to buy at 89.44 and a sell order at 91 or anywhere in that zone, and and that way they don't even have to be sometimes in front of the computer to let these HPS setups, because it'll also give you that stop. And the reasoning behind these all working out, and we'll give the a little credit to the market being really good. But most of these set up here, most of these worked as the market was pulling back. So it did show relative strength in the pullback we had earlier in the last week. So we put on that, and as you can see, here is the setup. So you get your long, and look at where we are. We're right up here. So beautiful move. This was what we call a triple stochastic rotation. I call it the 2020 trade. It's a HPS playbook play. I'm actually going to put a video about this setup in the forum over the weekend, because it's a new HPS type of thing. We always mention it, but I don't officially, put it on the list as a go-to trade. But in this market environment, very strong market environment, one of the best techniques is buying a pullback on a very strong stock that's coming off of all-time highs, or at least yearly highs. And that first pullback, if you pull back to that 20-period moving average, and we end up seeing that fast rotation back to 20, that's the 2020, then you're going to look for a push back up. All right. Typically, you probably get a little further move down, and that's why you sometimes this is showing great strength. When your price is only holding that 20 and not dropping down through it, and you already got a fast rotation, the odds of a quick turn and a move back up is great. So that was perfect. Check. So that one you got alerted, and of course the Discovery. Love the Discovery setup. Still think there's upside here, and I do call it one of my takeover play candidates. I think this is such a sweet. I was banging the table on this. What we had is two recognizable patterns. We had what we call a 1-2-3 channel, 1-2-3, and then we actually came down and chopped down and broke down out of this channel. But we really see this tight channel that formed underneath this as we broke out, holding the 20-period moving average, holding things. But then we had a divergence, and when we have a divergence in a tight channel, we look for a breakout above that channel line, that downward channel line that represents this tight channel. When we have a divergence, close to 90% of the time, you're going to get a breakout of that channel. So we put our target in, we put our trigger in, we took it, and look at that. The divergence does not fail. A perfect setup, too. And the reason we look at a profit zone there, we have this retracement trend line, which would probably be a good target overall if you're still holding this. And, it just looks fantastic. Fantastic setup. Great education there. Just going to continue down the line. Liberty Global, same thing. Media companies were giving us a nice pullback. I see IBB pushing up higher. We got a lot of stocks to go over, it looks like. And again, the same thing. In this case, this is what we call an X marks the spot. And a channel breakout stochastic rotation play. There was a lot of things going on here also. The coil stochastic setup here is also an interesting thing, where we kind of get this coil, these series of lower highs on the stochastics. And when that gets really banded, and we have three or more lower lows, it usually gets banded down here and then it pops. And when this coil pops, the channel pops. Combined with that was the X marks the spot. Very tight stop, but didn't matter. Look at that. We got that huge pop. That was a good signal on that, and a perfect profit zone hit. So we just want to continue to take these. I know you're like, wow, I can't wait to see what we have next, because every one of these I am taking. As long as they fit the criteria. Now this is currently active, but I'm in it also. I'm not passing any of these up. And boom, you can see this thing. Here's another divergence set up, a downward channel, and X marks the spot. These are all what we call high probability watch list plays. They have to fit a certain criteria. That criteria, believe it or not, is what we teach every single day here at Day Trading Radio. So if you happen to be seeing this video and not part of Day Trading Radio, you want to get over there to get these setups. All right. Also teach the methodology in a course on the School of Stock. That's theschoolofstock.com, and you'll see it there. If you go to the site, I'll bring it up for you fast. This first part is actually open to the public. The second part, when we have our watch list, well, so go to schoolofstock.com, and basically you'll see some of these courses. The Ultimate Divergence course. I have some free courses here also to actually get you started and how to use this criteria and use this methodology to have a business plan and actually make a business out of this. So I have a little introductory video on that, a good introduction for beginners, and of course the methodology course and the advanced divergence course. Only 2 courses, that's all you need. This is great stuff. Anyway, just a little promotion of that if you want to make your way over to theschoolofstock.com and check that out. All right, so back to the high probability setups. Again, another one. Bingo was its name-o. You could hear the excitement in my voice, because when you see these things set up, all I want to do is find the next good one. Alaska Airlines. We're all over the airlines, so we try to, kind of give you an update on these things throughout the week. These were really looking good. Initially hitting our target, and then we talked about the consolidation and how this was really setting up for a further push, and it pushed out of this. So just an update on that. This will eventually come back into the HPS site, or at least it'll end up back on here. We'll probably look at that today on the watch list, because there's probably going to be a 60-minute setup we could get in for another trade on this very soon. So let me write that down so we can go over that in the next part of the video. Okay. All right. We'll go to the next one here. I'm trying to go through these pretty fast. Schlumberger, well, we did this. Sienna is just hit its target recently, and that is one I am still holding. I just want to remind you their earnings are coming out next week. Next week earnings coming out on this. But again, this was a HPS add to position on the break of the buy trigger. All right, here was your buy trigger up here, 30.38. That's when that goes out active. And look at that. Look at that move. We've got through our buy trigger and then moved right up into our profit zone. And with a gap up too. Now, I'm actually still holding this. Holding 300 shares. I'm kind of willing to hold this into earnings. A little gamble on that. Remember, anytime you hold things into earnings, you take everything that we, preach and teach, and we throw it out the window. Nothing that comes good of earnings. But I was looking at this one. I'll see what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll take off some of it before the earnings. We'll make that decision next week. But for right now, I'm holding on into this consolidation. I think this consolidation will lead us a little bit higher. We'll talk more about this one on the next segment of the video. All right. Sienna, Eastman Chemicals, Clorox. These are all. Again, you could always go back and refer back to this. Interactive Corp also was another great one. This was another one that we talk about, the strong stock and the rotation. This one I really, we already traded this. So you'll see it hit its target, but it's starting to come back down. Look at how initially it hit its target right away. We got out of it. Then it came back. We got back in it. Hit its target again. We got back out of it. No position as of right now. But you can see the consolidation here, and sometimes it's good to refer back to the watch list chart just to see where old trend lines and things are lining up. You could also go to make it live up here. If you make it live, then you can go and you'll actually see the indicators fill out. Sometimes you see that how the 50-period moving average here stopped plotting, and the stochastic stopped plotting once we put the alert out. Just a thing that TradingView has on their charts. It just doesn't follow through on that. KHC, let's break it down. We did take profits on this. Now this is still active, and I still like it a lot. I've been in this one. Actually, we took profits because there was a little pullback, and I added to it, and then it spiked higher, and we got out. So we actually, I think we actually got back. We added to it on this pullback, then we got a big spike, and it should have hit. It actually hit its trigger. I'm surprised it hasn't. I have to see why that is. Sometimes it'll hit its trigger on the gap up, and it comes right back down real fast. It doesn't hold that price long enough for the price chain, tracker. We have a queue that checks the price to register that the target has been hit and send out the alert. So this one actually did hit its alert. I will fix that. And that's it. So that was some of the setups from the last week. Aflac here is the one that the HPS that did not work out, and I actually took this one off when the alert told me. This was a little. This actually was. We were ahead on this one, believe it or not. We actually were making some money on this, and I wanted to hold on to it a little bit further. Now take a look at it. So this was our short signal here, and we started moving down a little, and we actually went down to that 50-period moving average, and from that point it just rocketed up. So we got out of it when it started breaking out, and this is what it looks like right now. I mean, it probably will start to top out a bit, but shorts are not the game you want to play here. If you think you're good at shorts, you might get lucky here and there, but the pressure's to the upside, and when the pressure's to the upside, it makes the strong stocks very hard to short. So even if you do see a divergence, remember half the battle is being on the right side of the market. All right, so let's continue on now as the market continues. I want to continue on with some of my research. This portion of the video will end, and then the next you'll be if you're a member of Day Trading Radio, the video will continue with the new setups for this next week coming up. Remember, we started December. I will throw out one here for you guys, a little freebie I like to do. We're all in Philip Morris here, or I am, and I've been pushing it today and getting into it. Like this setup here a lot. It looks pretty good. We're going to maybe even call this a divergence. We have this sideways consolidation trying to turn back up, and we're holding this trend line. So it's almost a trend line hold here. We kind of pushed up through it, came back to it, and then we're starting to hold this trend line. So when we start to hold a trend line we broke out of and came back into it, tends to hold some good strength. I think it's a good risk reward here. So we are now in this, and we've been trading a lot intraday stuff like the Alibaba, the PayPal when we get the opportunities. The Alibaba we'll probably end up talking about a little bit more on the next section of the watch list. But pay attention to those divergences. Stay with quality names. Don't trade the penny stocks. All right, and listen to Day Trading Radio. Get over here. We have a great team of traders in the room. You got to see these traders making money every day, and they're posting their trades, so everyone can see. We have very good traders that make it a point to pass it forward or pay it forward to the newer traders in the room. So hope to see you there. It's DayTraderRockStar, and for those who are members, just hold on. You'll see the next part of the video coming right up.